Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my $15 Bank Shop best bet, you can find that at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, we've got a great day of college hoops, some NCAA tournament playing games, as well as some games in the NIT. Let's do it. Here are the games we're going to talk about on the Bank Shop Breakdown. First up, let's go to the 16-seed playing game, the first game of the NCAA tournament between Southeast Missouri State out of the Ohio Valley Conference and Texas A&M Corpus Christi out of the Southland. This one's going to be 6:40 Eastern on True TV. The winner of this game moving on to play the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament in Alabama. Now, I don't think either team has much of a shot of winning that game or competing in that game, but I do think, and I know, one of these teams is going to grab an NCAA tournament win in this game. And that's really big for these teams and these programs, for funding, for recruiting, to have that NCAA tournament win. But more importantly, for us, who's going to cover in this game? That's what we're looking for. And I'm looking at Corpus Christi to grab the win and cover in the end. You know, about a 4-point favorite right now. I think that's a good enough price for me with the Islanders, a program that made it to the NCAA tournament last year, got some experience with their first-year head coach at the time, and Steve Lutz. He's now back in the big dance this season. And I do think Corpus Christi, I think on paper both of these teams could be better shot quality-wise, but I think Corpus Christi fundamentally is a far better squad. When you look at this team, they force a lot of turnovers. They're a good offensive rebounding team. And the biggest thing for me is this is a team that gets to the free throw line and cashes in on those free throws. They're number 2 in the nation in free throw percentage as a team, 80% this season. And that's really important in a game that could be close down the stretch if Corpus Christi has a slight lead in the game and Southeast Missouri State's putting the Islanders on the free throw line. We can trust that Corpus Christi is going to be able to cash in on those really clutch free throw and crucial free throw attempts. So I think Corpus Christi is the better team. They're back to the NCAA tournament. They have experience there. Give me the Islanders here. I'm going to lay the small price. Next up, let's go to the NIT, the National Invitational Tournament. This one's going to be a first-round game between Hofstra and Rutgers, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU. I see Rutgers as a 7.5-point favorite. Total is at 136.5. Now, I think if any team was snubbed out of the NCAA tournament, the field of 68, it would be this Rutgers team. I mean, this was a team that had such a solid resume, in my opinion, a better resume than teams like Pittsburgh and Nevada. And, it's Rutgers who beat Purdue, Indiana, Michigan State, Maryland, Penn State twice, Northwestern, so many teams and so many wins, quad 1 wins and wins over teams that are in the tournament. I just can't believe that they did not make it over teams like Pittsburgh. So, for Rutgers, the only thing I would be concerned about in this game is the motivation level. I mean, I think it's a program that expected to make it to the big dance. So now you're playing in the second fiddle NIT as a Power 5 team. That could be disappointing, especially when you made it last year to the big dance. So that would be my only concern. But I still think Rutgers has a huge advantage on paper in this game, playing at home, playing a Hofstra team that I think is one of the more overrated teams out of all the mid-major schools in college basketball this season. Sure, Hofstra's got a really good shooting team. They're a good three-point shooting team that can score some points, but it's a team that does not get many offensive rebounds, rarely gets to the free throw line, and now you're playing on the road against a team that's number 5 in the nation in adjusted defensive efficiency, and a team that played a Big Ten schedule, one of the toughest schedules in all of conference college basketball for most of the year. I just don't see Hofstra really competing in this game, and like I said, the motivation level would be the only thing I'd be concerned about with Rutgers in this game. I think they have the upper hand in almost all facets of the game statistically, and at home here, I'm going to take them at a pretty solid price. Give me the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we'll stay in the NIT for a late night game between Eastern Washington and Washington State. This one's going to be a 11 o'clock Eastern start time. It'll be on ESPNU. And right now I'm seeing Washington State as an 11.5-point favorite. Total is at 150.5. Now, unlike Rutgers, Washington State was a team that, yes, played in a Power 5 conference, but did not expect to make really anything postseason in college basketball this year, because at one point Washington State was 10-15 overall, 5-9 in conference play. That's not a good enough record to make any postseason tournament, but Washington State went on a big win streak at the end of the regular season, won the first game of the conference tournament, and now ends the regular season with a winning record of 17-16 and gets to play and gets to host an NIT game against an Eastern Washington team that I've mentioned quite a few times that I think is quite overrated, similar to Hofstra. So I'm looking to fade a team like Eastern Washington in this game. Now, I will say the Eagles played Washington State last year on the road, and they beat them outright outright 76-71. I think that Eastern Washington team was better last season, unfortunately, for the Eagles in this one. And, EWU is a team that scores plenty of points, but I do think Washington State was a team going into the season that had really big expectations, and I actually like what I saw from them in their early season non-conference games, but that they lost a lot of close games, disappointing losses of teams like UNLV and Utah State as well. But Washington State was always a team that was a lot better than its record, and now we finally get to see them in a game like this where I think there's some value on the Cougars. A great rebounding team, a good shooting team. They can go toe-to-toe, in my opinion, with Eastern Washington from the perimeter. Both teams top 40 or top 100, in three-point shooting. Eastern Washington is a team that doesn't take care of the basketball. They don't really force a lot of turnovers. So does their defense hold up in a game like this on the road? And it's also important to mention Eastern Washington not in good form going into this game. They've lost their last 3 games, including the final 2 games of the regular season, as well as their first game in the Big Sky Conference tournament. I don't like teams limping into postseason tournaments. I think Washington State is the far better squad here. So give me the Cougars. I'm going to lay the points. And the final game we're going to talk about for Tuesday's card in college basketball, it'll be in the NIT as Toledo takes on Michigan. This one's 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Michigan is 7.5-point favorite. Total is at 161.5. One of the steepest totals you'll see in college basketball this season, and for good reason. I mean, I don't think either of these defenses are going to get a lot of stops in this game. And rather than taking the over, when you see a total that high at 161.5, not a ton of value on the over, in my opinion. I'd rather just take the points here with Toledo, a team that I think is going to be able to score consistently against an overrated Michigan defense. Can Toledo's defense get a lot of stops against Michigan? I don't think so. I mean, Toledo's ranked 287th in adjusted defensive efficiency. Michigan should be able to score at will against the Rockets, but Toledo's 5th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. They shoot the ball very well from the perimeter. They take care of the basketball, and we saw Michigan struggle and lose outright to one of the weaker teams in the MAC conference this year in Central Michigan. I think that upset loss was one of the big reasons why Michigan was not even considered to make the NCAA tournament this season. Toledo, went on a big win streak, 17-game win streak, which was the longest in the nation at one point. They lost to Kent State in the conference tournament final because they gave up 93 points in the end. But that was a game where Toledo only shot 26% from the perimeter. It was an off night shooting for the Rockets, but they shoot 39.9% as a team overall this season, second best in the country. I think we see a much sharper shooting performance from Toledo in this game. I think this is a coaching mismatch as well with Todd Kowalczyk from Toledo playing. He's been coaching since 2003, and Juwan Howard has consistently made mistakes for Michigan at head coach in recent years. I don't really like Michigan's chances to cover this big number. They could certainly win this game, but laying 7.5 points against a Toledo team, it's lights out from the perimeter. I wouldn't want any part of that. So give me the Rockets here with the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.